Hi boys and girls, we are ready to start Logic of English Lesson 8. So we're going to start today with a review of our phonograms, and just like last time, I'm going to say the sound and I want you to repeat so we make sure that we're very accurate with our sounds. Say shh, E-double-E, like her, E-eh-eh, oi that we may not use. That we may use. O that we may not use at the end of an English word. O that we may use at the end of an English word. Ch, k, sh. Qua. K. R. Oo. O, or a that we may not use, a that we may use, and back to shh. Okay. We have two new phonogram sounds that I want to introduce you to today, and these are very important, especially for those of us that are getting into some books that have more difficult words, because you're going to see this a lot. But I actually work with first graders too. I don't know if you knew that. And first graders are facing words that have these combinations of phonograms, so it's very important that you know that these phonograms make certain sounds and words to help you when you go to read them. Let's look at our first one. Do you see how it has 3 letters? Let me say the sound. Say I. That's it, right? Now, maybe you recall from kindergarten or first grade, a lot of kids will go ig, ha. They're trying to stretch out each of the sounds in that phonogram. But that phonogram belongs together. We call it the 3-letter I. Can you say 3-letter I? And when we see this in a word, we're going to explore later where we find this in English words. You're going to just say the I sound. Does that make sense? Say the I sound. Let's look at our next one. It's a W and an H together. Now, I want you to look at these 2 words. Went, while. Do you notice anything different about the sounds between my 2 first phonograms? Between my went and my while? Do you notice a difference in sounds? You probably didn't, and I don't either, and I'm not sure if your teachers will notice it either, and it's because we're from the Midwest. We're from this part of the United States. Excuse me. And in this part of the United States, we don't pronounce these any different. They're just the W sound, like the W sound, right? The W sound. Now in other parts of our world, like in Europe that have countries that speak English, or in Canada or on the East Coast, oftentimes what they'll do with this is it's more breathy. It's like a W sound. And I like to do that with my hand so I can show you what you're doing with your mouth. There's a lot more breath behind it and a lot more room in your mouth, like W. For the purpose of spelling words, when your teacher goes to teach you a word that has the WH, they're going to hold up 2 fingers. So you should automatically know, oh, that's the WH going W. But we can also look at it and say W, more breathy sound. Okay? So we have I and W. Now let's look at this phonogram really quickly. This is a vowel phonogram, because it's making a vowel sound I, correct? It's also 3 letters, and what do you notice about my GH? Do you hear that sound at all? No, you don't hear that sound at all, which is going to lead us to a rule later in our lesson. And then this one. What kind of a phonogram is this? Is it a vowel phonogram? No. Is it a multi-letter phonogram? Yes, it's multiple letters combined together to make one sound, W. Does that make sense? Now in your student notebook on page 115, you can go ahead and take just a minute to explore some of the words that have my WH phonogram, W. You can go ahead and underline your WH, and then talk as either a table group or as partners or as an entire class for just a moment. Where do you notice the WH in those English words? Is it at the beginning, middle, or end? You should have noticed that it's at the beginning, right? It's always at the beginning of words. You're never going to see it at the end of words. It's always at the beginning of English words. You can skip this part down here because, again, here in the Midwest and in other parts of the United States, we don't make a difference between these two sounds. It's both just a W sound. Now, you're going to take a second and you are going to watch now a video about some more phonograms that can make lazy sounds.